This is Ferris, and you've seen Ferris and I play together a lot, a lot. And we're going to go into some questions with Ferris and journalism. It's real, even here inside of Destiny 2. I have my notepad. These are questions that I've been asking some of the top streamers, but I was talking today with my video editor Vol and my technical person Havoc. They're my original fire team. They work together to help me do things where I have no understanding, zero computer stuff. Q, thank you for hanging out with me. I 100% appreciate your friendship, your time, and your effort. You have saved me many times in this game, and thank you for that.
Yeah, no
Q,
problem. My pleasure.
tell us a little bit about you. Like now, you don't have to be specific because I know there are things like sometimes people don't want to reveal, a true age. Protect your privacy. This, is live around the world, so protect your privacy. But give us like age, the things that you feel comfortable with. When did you start gaming? That type of thing. We want to know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, as you know, I just turned 22 4 days ago.
22.
Yeah,
And
so I'm 22
we
years old.
wished Q Ferris a happy birthday live online. And if the happy birthday wasn't one of those protected things, I would have sung it out loud.
No, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated.
And when did you get started inside gaming in general first? When did you get started gaming?
Ah, like super early, we had the original Xbox, and I really enjoyed playing this one game. And I think it's still probably one of my favorite games of all time. Conker's Bad Fur Day. I loved Conkers
And
when
tell me a
growing
little
up.
bit about that. What kind of game was
Oh,
it?
it was like a I don't even know how you would describe it. It's kind of like a semi open world kind of puzzle game where you do certain things like fighting a stack of hay on top of a pitchfork, things like that. I don't know. It was super goofy. It was super. I shouldn't have been playing it that
Now,
young
what age
because,
were you when you started playing that?
uh, heck, probably 6, 7,
Wow. So
maybe,
you
maybe
have
low,
been
maybe
carrying the
younger.
gamer mantle for a while, most of your
Yeah,
life, really.
yeah. My dad has always he's a gamer too. I guess you can call him. He's played EverQuest and World of Warcraft and Diablo games like that. Quake.
Omission says he thinks that game is considered a platformer.
Yeah, Conquer. Yeah, I
I
would see it
love
as a
some of the
platformer.
platformers. Ori on Xbox, my gosh, I boo-hooed, like a 3-year-old that had been denied an ice cream. Ori, if you ever played that game, it's a platformer, and it was absolutely spectacular. If you look, when did you start Destiny? Now, were you early adopter and you were there when they built the tower like some
Uh,
of the folks?
I was there for the beta because I was always a big fan of Bungie. I always loved Bungie's work, Halo, all the way
Yes.
up until they stopped developing Halo with Reach.
Sold it
And I
to
always wondered what their
Microsoft.
next. Yeah, I was always wondering what their next project was, and I know I'd be tuned in. And when they announced Destiny, heck, when was it? Like E3, like 2013, I think,
So
sometime around there.
you saw the folks like hit the moon and walk up that little path, searching for what they thought were signals from an alien race, and it was the Traveler. You did that
Yeah,
pull you in?
the original trailer. Yeah,
Yes,
I knew they were building something like along the like realms of like a class based like looter shooter. I
yes, and
remember reading up on it.
I don't know if you know this, Ferris, but originally, and it was altered later. Microsoft altered it inside of one of the Halo games. There was a poster in one of the areas where you were at, and it said "Seek Your Destiny."
Yeah, it was a poster. It was a poster in ODST on New Mombasa. It was a floating orb above the Earth, and it said "Destiny awaits." I'll never forget that.
Yeah, yeah, I loved that. Now they removed that. I was told that was pulled out of
Yeah,
that game.
yeah, and the
Why?
remaster it
I
just
think
says
that's a
"for her."
little Easter egg that was just so well placed. It was beautiful.
Probably some corporation stuff because they don't own Bungie
Yes.
anymore. Stuff like that.
Yes. If you look back on your career, and we've just heard that you do have an extensive career, your favorite game of all time, was it the first one you just told us about, the platformer?
Uh,
What is your favorite game?
My favorite game of all time would probably have to be Halo 2.
Halo
Just
2.
for the fond memories of playing through that with my brother on co-op, things like that.
And so
First
Halo 2,
experiencing
how
online.
long did you play Halo 2? A couple of years, a year and a half?
A couple of years
Yeah.
until the Xbox 360 eventually replaced like the base Xbox.
Yeah, the original, cause that has been a while ago, because I remember when that one came out, because I think it would even play. I think you could have like photos on that Xbox. It seemed like it was a step above and beyond, way ahead. If you look back at your gaming career, what has been the most fun? The moment, like a moment that you had where you said, "Wow, I can't believe how much fun I have had."
Would probably be when I first found my first group of like friends, I guess you could call them at the time. When I found him on Halo Reach, I was like 11 or something, and he was like, I think he was like 16 or 17. And I'll never forget his name because his name was Ratman versus Rat. I don't know. He was one of my
now.
best
His favorite
friends.
weapon is Rat King.
No, his favorite weapon is actually Mida Multi-Tool.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, he loved Mida in Destiny 1. He took that thing with him everywhere.
That is interesting. That is interesting. So meeting this person was one of the highlights for you. You were age 11, and it was a highlight.
Yeah, because then that's because I used to play on Xbox for years upon years, and it sprawled into a big friend group that I used to have, and I still talk with them to this day. One of them actually DM'd me earlier saying congrats on the Pantheon clear.
Yeah. What did you, just, on a current topic, Ferris, what were your thoughts about today's new Pantheon where we've had Rook added?
The double Rook? I thought it
Yes.
was super interesting. It totally caught me off guard.
Clone?
Yeah, because he just kind of appeared.
Yeah,
And it was very.
Q, I got knocked off the map. I wished I would have had Strand at my disposal, but I was on Arc Titan. But it was enjoyable. Did you notice the difference? Hello, sir. We're chatting here.
Oh, that's Adam. That's Anubu.
Oh, Anubu, how are you, buddy? Have a seat. Have a seat. Now, what did you think about? I'm not going to say but what did you think about the Rook, the additional Rook? Spoilers here. My gosh, I should have said spoilers, but it has been out since reset today. The second Rook that was immune. What were your thoughts about that?
The second Rook, when he kind of just appeared, I didn't expect it at first. But I think earlier Crimson and them were saying, and I wish there was a way to kind of deal with him a little bit.
To do something. Don't you think so, Ferris? Like some crit spot on his back, on his kneecap, something that would maybe give him a 5-second stun even.
Yeah, something to just get him to screw off for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't mind if we're unable to fully take him down, as in DED down. But I would like for him to even be stunned for a few seconds if we could hit, some spot on him, a kneecap, his headgear, something. But overall, I felt like it was a worthy addition and probably one of the best treatments that they've done. I liked it just for that. The second Rook, if we would just had a little bit of fine tuning, I feel like that would have been an absolute hit out of the ballpark. I loved it.
Yeah, it gives me hope for what's next for next week.
I know.
Riven and Nezarec.
Riven is coming, and Nezarec. What do you think we're going to get for Nezarec, Ferris?
Nezarec,
yeah.
I could sense the 3 Colossus probably being replaced with 3 Tormentors. I could definitely see that.
All at the same time.
Yeah. I said to the people I was playing with today, I wouldn't mind if they like put like a debuff or something on the plates, so you can't just kind of sit up on a plate and kind of cheese his AI. I
Yeah.
think it'd be nice to be up in his face.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Now,
But probably tormentors at most.
looking back, Q, have there been any really rotten moments in your gaming career? Guardians,
Rotten
I say
moments.
Q because I've known Q for a long time. There was a recent name change allowance if you're watching this past the original air date. And Q went from Q to Ferris in game. And so in my mind, they're interchangeable. But any moment, Q, that you think, that was rotten, it was awful.
Like, if it means people wise,
It could be,
I
something that happened in the game. It could be somebody that you're playing with. But don't name names if they're still around. Just your experience and what was it?
I've always had my fair share of people kind of just being rotten to me, being the way that I don't like to be treated.
Right. And
Because
other
I
gamers,
try.
it's other gamers sometimes.
Oh yeah, of course.
You may have heard me talk about my experience Q and Escalation Protocol, which was like one of the most rotten time. Well, absolutely, it is the most rotten time because it was apparent aggression. Now I've had people that like found a spot hidden, taco. I know there's a lot of tacos out there, but there's one taco that just absolutely tried to find a hidden spot, and Havoc and I were working ourselves to death to take the boss down. And then they, were out there jumping for glory, and they didn't do anything. But you run into it on occasion, Ferris. How do you deal with that? Do you shrug them off? How do you deal with that?
Honestly, I just don't deal with it myself because if anybody messages me being toxic or anything, I kind of just feed into them kind of being mad. Like if I'm playing PvP or something and people don't like the way I play, kind of just feed into it. And because I'm not mad, they're the one that's mad. So
It is their problem ultimately,
yeah,
isn't it, Ferris?
yeah, yeah. I feed into it.
I try to laugh about it. Now, I'm going to tell you a mistake I made, Ferris. I'm going to share this with you. I got a hate message. I know, chat, you're thinking, not you, Ransom. Yeah, I get hate. I get hate messages. I do. It happens. And I think, I try to be a positive person, but occasionally I get the hate messages. I too, will get some love letters on occasion. I like the love letters better than the hate mail. But I responded to this little hate message that I got, and it just really seemed like it gave this person a bigger platform, to scream ugliness.
Yeah.
Do you respond to them at all, or you just move along?
Oh, if people are hating on me and like on, I don't know. I had someone a couple months ago that kind of was bashing on me on Twitter, believe it or not. Freaking Twitter.
Oh my gosh,
And
Twitter
yeah,
sometimes can be filled with poison.
yeah, it's a terrible place to be. It is an absolute horrendous place to be. But somebody was giving me crap on Twitter a couple months ago, and it was just so ironic coming from this person because they are probably one of the most diabolical people I've ever met. Like they spew like the ultra hate, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
Like
yeah. Now, Chad, the
yeah.
reason you're saying don't even focus on this stuff, Ransom. What I want to say is, you you just rise above it. Way back when, a really smart person, I witnessed, a lot of words being thrown at this person. I was in college. It was a retail job. Bless anybody that has worked retail, especially during a holiday period. But this manager took a lot of hate that was totally uncalled for. And afterward, I was like, because I had just been like amazed at what was being said. And I said, how could you take that? Like, I grew up in the sticks, and, tempers can flare. And she said, Ransom, I just considered the source. You don't know what that person went through before I saw them. And I just have to think, I feel sorry for somebody that's spewing that kind of hate because they must have had a really rough life, rough week, rough day. And she just would totally ignore and go on and dispense with it. Sometimes it can be hard, but Guardians, rise up above that. We need to be good to each other. We need to get those revives, support our teammates, and there's room enough for all of us because we are all gamers down here. I am sorry that Ferris has to go through that anybody has to go through it. I hear it occasionally inside of my live stream chat where somebody's had something, happen and go ugly. But rise above it. Thank you for sharing that with us, Ferris.
No problem.
You, on occasion, now, not enough, I'm going to say it, not enough. I have watched Ferris when I get a notification, but it is not frequent. Are you going to stream more? Will you be streaming more?
I mean, I always could. I had a problem a couple weeks back that I heard that that certain people didn't like me doing it, so I kind of just stopped at the moment out of respect for them.
Right. But, and are you active on X? Do you chat a lot there?
No, not really. Hey,
any other platforms where people could see you talking about Destiny?
No, not really, because I don't talk about Destiny that often.
All right. Now, your biggest surprise in Destiny, Ferris, what was your biggest surprise as you look back at your game? It could be D1 or D2.
The biggest surprise?
Yeah. In the game, dealing with the game.
In the game, it would probably have to be the witness reveal.
The witness reveal. What did you think about the design of the witness?
I know certain people do not like the design of the witness.
If you read social media, you hear people, trash on the design of the witness. What were your thoughts about the witness, Ferris?
I think he looks cool. Like a lot of questions with all the faces in his head and whatnot, I thought were really, really interesting.
Ferris, you and I are on the same page because when the witness was revealed, my mouth was open and my eyes were bulging. I thought he was brilliant. Someone today on X released an altered photo of the witness, and they had all these little cat heads coming out of the witness.
The kitness.
Have you seen that, Ferris?
I have seen it. Yeah.
My gosh, I loved it. I did hashtag save the kitties. And I thought it was just an absolute fantastic play on that design. But I'm with you. I thought it was a huge surprise and terrifying at the same time. Because I looked at it and thought, those folks are trying to escape. They want out. They looked miserable. It just kind of set the mood for what the witness was. Just, a hateful super being. If you had to pick your favorite character inside the game, what would it be?
My favorite character in Destiny?
Yes.
Would probably have to be Ikora.
The Queen. Ikora.
Yeah.
Super powerful. If you saw one of my roundtable discussions with ATP, Vendetta, or a number of those gamers that I talked with, Ikora, she's mine, Ferris, ever since she, in the Red War, jumped on that Cabal Thrasher and Nova bombed it and screamed out, "You will find no mercy in me." It's like, Queen Ikora, we love you. Beat them back, beat them down. I just love her, and I'm glad to hear that you love her. I can say, Ferris, I want her to have a bigger part. It's been a while since we've seen her really active, probably since the Witch Queen was introduced and she joined us in battle to open up some of those hive doors that were locked.
Yeah, I'd imagine she will be in the final shape. I got a feeling the Vanguard will be.
Do you think they'll be fighting side by side with us? Maybe Savala and Ikora and some of the other Vanguard members?
Uh, as like AI like companions,
Yes,
probably
yes.
not. But like how they have been, like with the Red War
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff
kind of
like
like
that.
how Keitel joined us in battle on Neo Muna, if you remember that mission.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That I liked that Keitel was on the battlefield. She didn't do a whole lot. She stomped around and had a couple of good lines, but I just was glad to see him, off the tower and participating in the game.
Yeah.
The raid is coming up, and it's going to be the final shape. Guardians, if you're watching this past the live stream, final shape is coming to us, and there will be a new raid. Ferris, is your raid team set, and is it your clan?
Uh, yeah, it is. All of
And,
us are
and
gonna
how do you
be
guys
together.
work it? Is there one designated leader, or is it more of a democracy where everybody gets a voice?
I would say everybody gets a voice, but our IGL, this guy, he's probably gonna be there, like
Anubu?
he usually is. Yeah.
Now, I have played with Anubu, and I can say he's absolutely phenomenal. You're in the real world. Oh, no, wait a minute. I missed this one. Back up just a moment. You're in the raid. You're working on it. Now, Ferris, is this going to be a serious world's first attempt, or are you guys there to explore and it's more about the camaraderie?
We're not there for the world's first because we know there's definitely a lot more better teams than us competing, i.e., Saltagrepo, Sweatsicle,
Right.
Ashcross, people like them. Like, they got it in the bag. They typically do because they're just the top of the top. They
Ferris,
know how
you've,
to min
you have
max
you
everything.
you've got to watch that. All the players, Vendetta, Zemo, and Mango, were at the round table the other day, and they're going in hardcore to try to take that. And Mango was with Saltagrepa's team, and they're going in with Dadbot, who's from Clan Elysium. He's on their team, and they've assembled like the superstars of streaming and gaming right now. Would you like to see someone else take the crown for world's
I
first?
it feels messed up saying, but like I don't want them to win. Surely because it'll be for me. Like it'll feel lame because they've gotten it what
Four
four
times.
times before
Four,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, I would really like for someone else to win. To get that feeling, to get that
Guardians, it's
dopamine rush
awful
that
for
must
another
get.
Guardian to say that about a Guardian team, but we're rooting for the underdogs here. We're rooting for
Yeah,
the underdogs, and yes, I'm with Ferris. I want somebody else to reach and be rewarded with a title, world's first, for this new raid. I'm with you
yeah.
100%. Now, on that subject of raids, what are your favorite gamer foods?
My favorite gamer foods when we typically go into the day one races knowing we're going to be there for probably 10 hours or longer if it's actually like a new challenging race and not like Route of Nightmares was. If it's something like Vow or Crota again, I typically just have like granola.
Granola.
Basically, yeah,
Crimson
granola
was,
bars.
Crimson talked about apple wedges and carrots. You're going to be having granola. Mango was cereal and milk. And we heard, I think Crimson, he was the apples and carrots. And then one of them, maybe all the players, ATP, sun chips were like the thing that they were going to take in. I like to ask Ferris because controllers, keyboards can become messy. So the gamer foods, it's Guardians. Be careful. Don't get your keyboard ruined or your controller messed up with food or a spilled drink. Gamer
Yeah,
food's important, especially you just heard Q say 10 hours, but there are people that definitely go longer where they're working at it as hard as they can to get through it. Gamer food and stay hydrated. What is your
yeah.
favorite movie of all time, Ferris? Your favorite
Uh,
movie?
Probably the City of Ember.
Oh, I loved that. That's a
It's
little
a very good.
undiscovered jewel. Most people, I don't think they know what that is, but that's an excellent little movie. Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to give spoilers in case somebody hasn't seen it. Well, it's been out for several years, multiple. Do you think they restarted civilization up on top?
Uh, by the, I mean, I read all the books in middle school, and there
Does
was an
it? Do they
entire
move
city.
up above ground?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know because I think the movie ended with them finding the light, didn't it? They made it to the
Yeah,
top, and
they ended with the sun
I
rising.
always wondered about it. Like, oh man, I hope they got the people out of there. I want them to have like been successful out there again. Your favorite, if you had a dream vacation, what would your favorite spot be for a dream vacation?
My favorite dream, or my dream location of visiting somewhere, would probably be Greenland, or probably somewhere in Japan. I would really love to see heck, what's that mountain called in Japan?
Mount
What's it called?
Fuji.
Mount Fuji. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would really love to go to that place when like cherry blossoms are
Oh yeah,
in
cherry
bloom. I think it'd be,
blossoms. It's beautiful. I've been lucky
yeah.
enough to be to Japan. Phenomenal country, technologically advanced. Some beautiful sights to behold. Yes, that would be a phenomenal vacation, and that's it. That is a dream vacation. Japan, you better have some extra spending money on you because it can be pricey over there.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
quite pricey.
your dream job.
My dream job, I graduated college for graphic design. I would really love to be a graphic designer for something. I wouldn't mind doing that at all.
Graphic design, such a really art. Guardians, art. I admire artists, and for Ferris to tell me that, it's always exceptional. I think that we had talked about it before, but it's nice for you to confirm that. Appreciate the artists because they're truly gifted. Are you working at that now? Is that something you do right now?
It's kind of just a side thing I do right now. It's hard for me to do it on this computer because all those Adobe programs, each of them are like 200, 300 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So I need to really lock in a work computer.
And don't they really,
Really nice.
I hear from a lot of folks that are in that field, don't they really go for the Apple computers?
Yeah, when I was in college, we used MacBooks, not
Yeah.
MacBooks,
Yeah,
Mac
because I
OSs.
think they really have a lot of power based on how they work. Because I read an article about the Imagineers at Disney and how most of them had setups that were in the $13,000 to $28,000 range because they were custom from Apple to create the animations that we see, the CGI, that kind of thing. That's a pricey field, really, isn't it, Ferris?
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't cheap going to that school,
Yeah,
but I did
pricey
I
field.
did concurrent classes on for my final 2 years of high school, and I did 2 years out of high school, and I'm done.
If you were in the Cosmodrome, where the Walker is at, and a lot of the new light blueberries, as they're called in the game, do you stop and help, or do you get out of there as quick as you can?
For when we find like brand new players in like the Cosmodrome, or it's mainly in the tower, we sometimes just invite them for like a VOG or something.
Yeah.
Give them free stuff, and it's led to some interesting encounters, to
So
say the
you
least.
are helping them push back the darkness, Ferris.
Yeah,
I am
as
glad
much
to
as
hear.
we can.
I am glad to hear it. Guardians Ferris is an 11 in an 11 world. I'm a 10 in an 11 world. And I see Wicked is a 9, Prince is an 11, and I bet Anubu. Oh, Anubu's a 10. I would have thought he would have been an 11 because
He don't play this
I've
game.
played with Anubis before and absolutely spectacular. I've not seen him inside my chat for a while. Anubis, you need to come hang out, buddy. What are your final words to people who might be watching and need maybe a little bit of inspiration from a seasoned veteran of Destiny?
It's it's always easier to get better. It's more easy than you think, at least.
Yeah. And
Like,
Ferris, it's really just practice and play the game a lot, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, aim and things like that isn't everything. While sometimes it does help to, be a good or crack shot, learning how certain interactions happen with certain weapons and classes and exotic items, things like that,
Yeah.
is really what separates like really good players and fresh out of the Cosmodrome players.
Guardians, I want to, definitely say out loud, get it on digital. You heard me open up with Ferris. The missions that I have run with Ferris, really some phenomenal ones because time and effort is placed on balancing the weapon selection, how to work your supers. And that comes from gameplay, supporting other streamers, watching how other streamers do their builds, fine tuning everything. And eventually you can come to those conclusions on your own if you play enough and swap around, how you're playing. And it also depends on the artifact. We all know that Polaris Lance has been, a go-to for this very long season of the Wish. But I want to say, Ferris is one of those folks that I feel like goes under the radar, meaning you're not going to find Ferris with 17, 20,000 people watching a live stream, but Ferris deserves that because the skill level, the expertise, the willingness to get that revive and be there for you as a real guardian should be. Often it's about your team and being inclusive that can really set you apart. And I feel like there are a lot of people out there that we don't know about. I'm lucky enough to know Ferris and to have played. How did you find me, Ferris? How did you find me?
Anubu found you. It was, I think, like at the start of Witch Queen or a little bit before. I think it was at the start. He said he just found one of your shorts and he
Oh,
sent
that
it.
is so
And he
awesome.
sent it.
Anubu, why have you never told me that? Probably because I don't think I've ever talked to you.
Yeah, yeah. He mainly just sits his butt on Fortnite and Apex.
Oh, God.
He doesn't play Destiny anymore because he's a big scrub.
Yeah, well, he's another one of those underneath the radar. But I do feel like there's people. I mean, do you run into people that have your skill set, Ferris?
Run into people with my skill set.
I mean,
I think
you're
I do.
good. You're good. And every time I've ever played with you, I mean, you and I just ran in the last couple of weeks, we've run a lot of waves in Onslaught. And we come out at the end, and you've got 1,200, critical takedowns inside of the game. Do you run into that? I'm just curious.
When we do LFGs and finders and stuff, when we're just missing one or something, so far, no. No. We're typically at the top, and our random, our LFG, probably has like 200, 300.
One of the best times I ever had. Chad, I know I'm keeping Ferris a long time here. I want to just
No,
let
it's
you know
fine.
this story. One of the best times I ever had, really, I look back on it with a huge amount of fondness because probably it's not my favorite content. It was, I think, in the Cosmodrome, it might have been the EDZ. It was the Rasputin season, and we were having to go into the bunker, and Rasputin was laser beaming us as we ran across this huge expanse to find the door, the hive, the ogres, you name it. It was a battlefield. And I don't remember exactly what the mission was for, a weapon, saving humanity. And I was with Ferris and Daddy Love, and those two players absolutely destroyed everything in sight, and it was so good. Do you remember running some of those missions with me, Ferris?
I do. It was probably my stasis turret
It was
build that I used to
stasis.
have.
Yeah. You destroyed everything in sight, and I was running trying to catch up, thinking, I'm. It's like I'm at a parade. There's nothing left here, except some roses where they've taken everything down. It was glorious to see you in action, and I am so glad to be able to call you friend. And I love when you pop up inside my live stream to say hello. And you are welcome at my round table anytime, Ferris. Thank you for shining a light into very dark places.
It's no problem. I enjoy popping in, saying hi.